Here's a song that embodies many of the truths about you. It's called Greater Power. One life beating all our hearts. One love living in everyone. If you breathe, just breathe. In the silence, what a sound. And you'll hear what's all around. 'Cause in me is light, so let it shine. In me is strength to make it mine. In me is peace to free my mind. In me is everything I need. In you is joy to heal the pain. In you is power to make a change. In you is truth to set you free. 'Cause in you is everything you need. A greater power's in you. A greater power's in you. One truth defined in you and me. A path to follow yourself to your source. If you breathe, just breathe. In the silence, what a sound. And you'll hear what's all around. 'Cause in me is light, so let it shine. In me is strength to make it mine. In me is peace to free my mind. In me is everything I need. In you is joy to heal the pain. In you is power to make a change. In you is truth to set you free. 'Cause in you is everything you need. A greater power's in you. A greater power's in you. A greater power's in you.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. My God, it seems like forever since I talked to you last. And today I want you to know we at Agape, we've got a great day planned for you today. So if you're out there on social media, check in with us, say hello, talk to people out there, put in your comments, your questions, whatever you need to do. If you're joining me for the first time, understand that Agape is Greek for unconditional love. And when we talk about agape, we talk about acceptance, because that's what love is. Love is fully accepting first yourself, then others, then the world, and then you live in a state of love. And I know you may say, well, Lee, that's hard to do these days with all the contrast. You've got to understand that the world, the universe, it's always in balance. There's always the yin, there's always the yang. And when you combine the two, there's always balance in the middle. And when there's balance, there's love. That's the observer effect. When the observer is looking, it sees both sides, not just one. So, I don't know what's been going on for you. Do you have anything that's really happening in your life? Anything that's pulling you off center? Anything that you don't understand? Anything you don't understand about anyone else? I'm going to give you a simple tool right now before we get into service. Know that whatever decision you're going to make, ask the question. Don't care what anyone else says. Ask the question, what do I believe about it? And whatever you believe about it, follow your belief. Now, if your belief ends up to be wrong, your emotions will tell you. Then you change your belief, and then you follow your belief again. That's the process of living life today. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask you, let's slow this down a little bit. So I'm going to ask you to come to a comfortable seated upright position. Your back is straight. Your hands gently resting on your lap. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. Now, as you breathe in and out, feel the air moving in and out through your nose. Feel your belly rising and falling with each and every breath. Now ask the question, who is breathing? Who is breathing me? I know the mind controls the body, but who is controlling the mind? Know that you are a microcosm of the infinite. You are an individualization of infinite consciousness. You are the observer. You are the master of your life. You are completely free to choose whatever you like. Anything else is an illusion. Anything that puts you into a box is an illusion. The truth, as an expression of individual consciousness, means that you are always free to express. So in this state, ask yourself, what is desiring to be expressed through me? What am I desiring to experience? What greater expression can I be in the world today? See yourself as light with no limitations, no boundaries. And as you see yourself with no boundaries, see yourself blending in to the infinite light. Just like a drop of the ocean blends into the entire ocean. That drop is individual, and that drop is a part of the all. That's who each of us are. A drop of consciousness in the ocean of infinite consciousness. So we are individual and we are infinite at the same time. And that makes us unique, infinite expressions of life. Anchor in this idea into your mind and give thanks that you have this freedom. And when you're ready, bring your attention back to this moment to this time gently move, open your eyes, put a smile on your face, and welcome this magnificent day. Well, today I'm going to talk about something different. Today I'm going to talk about how do we truly know God? How do you know something that is infinite? It's a great question because you can't give it labels, because to give it a label, you automatically restrict it. It's no longer there. And so I'm going to talk about today the four omnis. And hopefully when I'm done discussing the omnis, you'll have a better idea of what this thing we call God is, what this thing we call infinite intelligence, what this thing we call cosmic consciousness, what's this thing we call spirit. It doesn't matter what you call it, it is undefinable. So I want you to be really aware that when I use the word God, I am not talking about a supreme being. I don't believe in a supreme being. I believe that that's taking a universal power and presence and anthropomorphizing it, giving human qualities. To give this infinite beingness, this infinite consciousness, human qualities is to limit it. And that's a human construct. That is not what it is. And so I've come to the understanding that it is totally impossible to define the infinite. Can't do it. People want me to do it all the time. I try to do it for myself. I cannot do it. And so you often hear the term, I am. In capital letters, I am. What that means is I am all there is. I am everything. I am. And anything you put after the am, it is. Here's a fascinating thing about that. There is the capital I am, and then there's the little I am, uncapital. The big capital I am is the macrocosm. The uncapital is the microcosm. And you and I are microcosms of the macro. But that's not where we're going with this talk. I want to define the macro so we can better understand the micro. So knowing it's impossible to define God, we know that there can only be one infinite. That's pure mathematics. There cannot exist anything more than one infinite at this time. And so that brings us to the quality of the first omni, which is omnipresence. It means that this infinite is equally everywhere in every moment. Meaning there is no place that God is not. Think about that. There's no place to hide. There's nothing you can do that can be hidden from the infinite intelligence that you are a part of. It's probably where they got the idea of Santa Claus. He knows if you've been naughty. He knows if you've been good. Because you can't hide. But you see, the difference is that this omnipresence doesn't judge you. It is who you are. You are a part of the omnipresence that is everywhere present. This truly means that God, infinite, is in everything, and that everything is an expression of God. Now, there's a real lesson here, and it's one word, and that word is everything. Everything is God. Not the good and not the bad, not the bad and not the good. Everything is God. God is the seen, the unseen, the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. Because there's nothing outside of this idea, this consciousness, this collectiveness that we call God. And so if there's nothing outside of it, it means it is everywhere, in everything, all at the same time. It doesn't move anywhere. It's everywhere in its oneness, in its allness, right here, right now. Because God is omnipresent, that means that all power to create is everywhere presence. That is the second omni, omnipotence. When you realize that creativity is happening in every moment and has been happening in every moment, you realize that that creative power is everywhere. It's not in one spot that you got to go. It's everywhere. You don't have to go to a temple. You don't have to go to a mountain. You don't have to go to a lake. You don't have to be in a place in Sedona, in the vortexes, or in the Himalayas. The power to create, because it is omnipotence, it's everywhere. It's right where you are. You don't have to seek out anything. You just have to learn how to use it, because it's right there. This means that the infinite creative mind, which is all power and possibility, is in every thought we think. Did you get that? The infinite creative mind, which is all power and all possibility, is in every thought we think in every moment. In other words, we are constantly creating. There isn't a moment in our lives where we're not creating, because our thoughts are feeding our mental atmosphere. Our mental atmosphere is picked up by the creative mind, and that creative mind is creating the experience that correlates with it. I want you to keep in mind that this infinite creative mind, this infinite creative power, this omnipotence, it does not judge. It just creates. You see, all life responds to our consciousness by becoming that which we are thinking and believing. Life simply responds to who we are. And who we are is how we create our life experience. You see, it's not what we want. It's not what we wish for. It's not what we demand. It's who we are. So people are always asking me, they say, Lee, who am I? Well, look at your life. That's who you are. Your life is always demonstrating back to you who you are in consciousness, what it is you believe about yourself. Now, keep in mind, you've not chosen all these beliefs consciously. You've blindly accepted most of your beliefs from your parents, from society, from religion, from politicians, from the news media, from magazines, maybe from your life partner. You blindly have accepted these views of you. Doesn't matter though. Whatever you accept that becomes a belief, whether it's conscious or unconscious, chosen or unchosen, the power that creates gives you that belief in your experience. And so what's really cool about this is that when you get an experience that you don't want, you realize that the power to create is right where you are, and that you can use that power to create something completely different, and that every moment is a new opportunity to create something new. The same power to create a book has been with me all of my life. It wasn't until this last week that I committed to creating that book. Now, I had things in the process, but I now believe that I can put out a book that talks about what I want to bring into the world. So whatever happened a week ago is no longer relevant. What is relevant is what I believe about creating a book today. And when I believe it, it means my thoughts, words, actions, and feelings are aligned with that belief. And when the universe sees that with persistency and consistently through me, the universe says, of course, Lee, it will be done unto you as you believe. You see, we know that there is an infinite intelligence that's everywhere present. It's all powerful. And knowing that, we also know that there is one mind. And this mind is all knowing, and it is all science. All the natural laws, all the wisdom are a part of this. And this is the third omni, omniscience. All wisdom, all the natural laws, everything are everywhere present, all powerful, right here, everywhere, right now. All we do in our human form is we discover these laws. And if we discover them, we can use them. Very simply, look at electricity. Electricity has always existed. But until we as humans discovered it and then discovered how to use it, it was just laying dormant. It wasn't doing anything because we weren't using it. The same thing is happening right now in ways that you and I cannot even imagine. What I'm sharing with you is that there are powers out there that you can use to create your life. You've got to first understand them, and then you've got to take it in within you, and you've got to begin to use them and prove to yourself that these powers do exist and you can use them. And once you do that, then you can take them to greater and greater and greater and greater heights, greater levels of experience. And I believe that's why we're here, to find these powers, to use these powers, to create a greater and greater experience. It's about really becoming more aware through living consciously. You see, all creative ideas that will ever be thought, that have ever been thought, are in this creative mind. And they are instantly available to everyone who is open to receive them. The interesting thing is, there have been times where someone has discovered something in one part of the world, and in another part of the world, the same exact discovery is going on. Why? Because the creative idea that's being discovered in one part of the world is available everywhere at the same time. And if someone else is focusing on the exact same idea, the same question, asking for an answer, they will get it. You see, these creative ideas are not just for one person or another. That's why as I look at things, I realize there's no new thoughts out there. I'm not coming up with any new ideas. I'm simply bringing up ideas that are already out there, and I'm presenting them through my filters. I'm presenting them through my way of communication. So the people who are hearing this message, it's not because I've got anything new. It's that the way I'm expressing it is able to be heard by the people who are listening. So when someone tells you they've got an idea that no one else has ever thought, I simply say to that, poppycock. Poppycock. It just doesn't exist. They're fooling themselves because all creative ideas in the one mind, and they are instantly available to everyone. So all I'm doing as I speak with you and I express is I'm going into the infinite mind, and in that infinite mind, I'm pulling out ideas that already exist. You see, when you look at all of these ideas, it's really the total idea. There's one idea that makes up all ideas. And I believe that idea is there's only one. And that only one has infinite parts, infinite ways of being expressed. And yet it is still one. See, in order to really tap into the creative mind, We have to be open. And being open means being unattached to what we believe we already know. Because the second we think we know something, we limit any possibility of a greater understanding coming to us. And I think this is where most human beings get stuck. I know this, and so they won't listen to another perspective. And maybe that other perspective can help them expand on infinite knowledge. I'm starting to realize that the more I think I know, the more I realize how much I don't know. So while I'm talking to you as confidently as I can about what I'm speaking about, I realize I know just a very, very, very small amount, and that there's so much more to discover. And yes, my friends, that's the journey of life. It's to discover life itself. We must always remain open. We must openly ask, but we also must be open to receive. You see, that's the circle of life. Ask, receive, receive and ask. But most of the time we look at it from one side. We keep asking, but we're not open to receive. Or we keep being open to receive, but we're not asking the right questions. We're not asking expansive questions. So this whole idea, it's a state of art. It's a state of art that we're using and we're working with each and every day of our lives. So we've talked about the idea that God is everywhere, that God is all powerful, that God is all wisdom. Well, let me talk about this God, infinite mind. Infinite mind is also in total action in every point in this universe. This is the omni called omni-action. That all action is the divine expressing. Creativity cannot take place without action, whether it's action of thought, in human form, action of movement. It is a movement in consciousness. The infinite mind is always, always in action. This action is always expanding. It's always expanding the awareness of all people in all situations. You see that the action of the universe, the action of the microcosm is there to expand our awareness. Our awareness, all of us, our awareness in any and all situations. So it's not privilege. It's not just for some, it's for all. But here's the key thing. This action has no opposition. There's nothing that can oppose it. There's nothing that can stop it from becoming more, expressing infinite, expressing beyond any limitation. There's nothing that can do that because there's nothing that can oppose it. Remember, we made the determination. The infinite is infinite. If there is only one infinite, there's nothing that can oppose it. For us, all it requires to be in action in your consciousness is to know that it is. To realize that your consciousness expressing is the divine action. And what's really important to understand, that no matter what you do, we call it the law of cause and effect. Whatever you put out there, you will get a corresponding response. And you're saying, well, will I self-destruct? And the answer is no. Why? Because everything is always in balance. That might even be the fifth omni that no one's ever talked about. It might be that there's an omni called omnibalance. Because if you think about it, the infinite, which includes all things, is always in balance. For if it was not in balance, it would self-destruct. So we come to the idea, how do you know, or how do you experience the universe? How do you experience balance? And this, my friends, is the paradox. If you are in the state of balance, there is no feeling. There are no words to describe it, because in the balance, there is no contrast. You are the point between the breath. You are the point between thoughts. You're the point where there is absolutely nothing and yet everything. When you have that experience in meditation or being in nature, and you lose yourself in the allness, becoming one, there are no words that can describe it. And yet, you know it's real. So let's pray. And when I pray, I'm making a declaration of truth. I'm not asking and beseeching. I'm simply opening my mind to a greater level of awareness. I do that by knowing that there is only one. It is infinite, it is all-knowing, it is everywhere present, it is all-powerful, it is all action, it is in perfect balance right here, right now. And because I know that it is infinite and everywhere present, I know that I and you and everyone on this planet, or anyone anywhere in the universe and everything in the universe, is one with it. Therefore, I know that the power that creates is right where I am. And what I declare right here and now is that I am using that power by simply stating that the infinite intelligence that is within the power, within the mind, within the presence of the divine, is right where I am. It is right where you are. And I know that each of us is guided and directed to that power, to that wisdom, to that idea for a greater expression of life. I know that the past is no longer relevant. It is not a precursor to the future unless I choose it to be. And I choose now to live anew. I choose to live anew. I choose that the possibility to live anew exists right here and now for not only me, but for everyone. And so I consciously claim my power to step into the greater unknown so that each and every moment of each and every day, I'm expanding into a greater awareness of infinite love, infinite possibility, infinite beingness, and a deeper and more perfect expression of oneness than I can even imagine. I know this for me. I know this for you. I know this for everyone on the planet. I literally wrap my arms around Mother Earth as I do this prayer. And I see clarity filling the consciousness of the human collective. Clarity to come out of the contrast that we are experiencing in this time to a greater evolution of each individual and of the collective. I see that the world is in balance. I see that the world is working to bring everyone into balance. And so knowing that this power is doing this, I go into a state of gratitude and I give thanks. I bless it. I bless this prayer. I bless the infinite. I bless myself. I bless each of you. For I see God in all things. And knowing that I do, I release this into the power of the law, knowing that it creates. And I let it be. And it is done. And so it is. Well, welcome, 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 welcome to this new moment where you get to use your power again. So I'm going to ask you right now is if you received benefit from this message, support us, support Agape as we bring this message to the world. You'll find a donate button in the link, either on YouTube or Facebook. Click on that button and make a donation. You're exchanging energy. And as you give us some energy for the energy we give you, we can expand this energy and affect more people in the world today. So I am grateful for you, and I'm grateful for who you are, and I'm grateful for how you support us in bringing this message of self-love, of love, of living consciously. I want you to know that you have an opportunity. And that opportunity is to be a part of Agape and be a part of the classes that we offer. Starting next Sunday, I will be teaching a class how to pray, or spiritual mind treatment, as we call it at Agape. I'll be doing that class starting on Sundays for 6 weeks. And then I'll be doing a class also starting on Tuesday evenings for 6 weeks. On Mondays, I will be doing a class called How to Create Fulfilling Relationships or Meaningful Relationships. That is also a 6-week class. If you are interested in being a part of a class and really going deeper, connecting with like-minded people and becoming more wise and more self-empowered, agapespiritualcenter.com. And you go to the calendar or you go to classes and workshops, you can click there, find out more information, and sign up today. Also, every day at 7 a.m., we do meditations online. The links are on the website as well on the calendar. I'm now working on clearing the chakras. Each and every day, we clear a chakra. Except on Sundays, we clear them all. We had an incredible meditation this morning. So, if you've not signed up for or subscribed to my YouTube channel, Reverend Lee Wolak, please do so. And here's one of the greatest gifts you can give. Share this message with all that you know. The more we share, the more awakened we become as a society. And when we become awake, we become empowered. What I want you to know is no matter where you are on the journey, I love and I accept you right where you are. And I'm here to know your truth, that you are perfect, unique, and an individual expression of infinite love. Until next time, just be you.